The Museum of London approached us, brothers and sisters, about a year ago, and originally their idea was just for us to make a viral film for them to celebrate the opening of their new modern gallery space. And we thought, okay, well, let's forget about a viral film for a minute. Let's go back a step and think what it is that you actually want to achieve with this work. And so when we spoke to them, we found out actually that the reality was they just wanted to, they had this amazing new gallery they'd spent a lot of money on and they wanted to launch. And we thought the great asset they had was this amazing archive of film and photography, which spans hundreds of years, actually even thousands of years, going back to Roman times of London's history. A really amazing asset, like a huge vault of material. So we thought, okay, that's got to be a massive advantage. We've got a tiny budget. Let's try and use that archive of material to the absolute very best of our ability. So we had this idea. We thought, okay, millions of people live in London, and they live in the present day in London, but they don't really know what happened on the street they live in or on the street they work in like hundreds of years ago. That's kind of a mystery, and we thought, let's somehow kind of bring the past to life. Let's try and take the museum out of the gallery and out onto the streets so people could interact with it. And so we had this idea of creating what we call an augmented reality location-based smartphone app, which is a little bit of a mouthful, I know. What that basically means is an app that allows you, a member of the general public, to walk around the streets of London, be directed towards specific locations. So for example, in London, famous tourist monuments like Trafalgar Square or Carnaby Street, the app takes you to those locations. It positions you, it tells you where to stand roughly. You hold your phone up towards the sort of the famous view of the street in the present day, and it cleverly overlays a piece of historical photography from the most famous period in that place's history, be it 100 years ago, 200 years ago, during the Second World War, whatever it might be, and it allows you to hold your phone up and compare the present with the past. And we thought that was a really, really powerful, incredibly powerful thing. And from a position where maybe the client at first was a little bit skeptical about whether anybody would actually find this or use it, I think because it's incredibly useful and relevant to people's everyday lives, it's become a bit of a phenomenon. And the client briefed us, or their ambition was to get 5,000 downloads, and we've been fortunate enough now to get close to 150,000 downloads for this free app. So it's not about making money, it's just about publicising the gallery and getting people to visit. A museum should always try and attract people who are curious and interested in the world, and in the same way apps. This app was aimed at people who are curious about finding out what used to happen on their streets hundreds of years ago. And most importantly, through a combination of the app we made and also the PR that they did around the launch of the museum, the new gallery, in the first 2 months after the app launched and the new gallery opened, their visitors tripled.